Today's Game of Names episode is going to be about people in my local area and businesses. Because I've had a couple people say, well, all you're doing is picking and choosing certain people. No, this applies to everyone, and that's what I'm trying to show people. And in the meantime, I'm going to have to admit that I don't have much fun in my life anymore because I see what is needed as a whole in our communities, in nature, in our countries, in our world. And I put that as a priority. But I'm going to attempt to try to make this episode a little more fun, showing you that this applies to everyone and everything. And by no means am I making fun of people. They're living their resonation. We're all living words, and we're all defined in divination, in divinity. We are divine together. Whether we seem to be complete insensitive pricks or whatever, that's all personal stuff that each person has to work through, but they will always live to be their name. And hopefully this can show people, and maybe some people in my area will understand what I'm talking about if they put two and two together by watching some of my older videos explaining why letters actually mean what they mean, and then when you put them in word form, they actually live out a lifetime from what you name them. And then we'll get into the deeper stuff after people start understanding. And hopefully I can bring some of my local community together to show them that this guy knows what he's talking about. Enlightened or not, I love you. And I'm just trying to show you in the best way without scaring you about what's going on in the world. So hopefully you can enjoy this one. And here we go. Before I get into the first few companies in this area, I just want to say that either everything is a coincidence or there aren't any coincidences at all. And eventually people will see that there aren't any. Like I've said many times, the personal details of everyone's life are the things that they have to work out in order for them to be able to affect the world in a positive way. Or else their name will still play out. They'll do what their name defined them to do, but they won't be living moral, and they won't be learning the higher lessons that we're here to learn. The first few companies are concrete companies. Now, the first one is E.E. Austin. Okay. E is the opposite side of A. A is the activation vowel. E is the bottom line expression where it comes through the doorway, D, dia, into expression. So you have E, E, so two E's upon themselves, the bottom line expression here, and then Austin, to activate a unit, subject plus identified notion. So you call them, they come there, and they lay concrete. E.E. Austin. The next one is A. Anthony and Son. So if you want to A. activate, and then Anthony, the active notion plus here ongoing notion vitally identified, you would also be concrete. As an interesting little side note, not only is there an A. Anthony and Sons concrete, I myself worked for a company that was A. Anthony, and their names were Anthony and Sons. And it was ran by that family name, but the guy that was my foreman was Terry Young. Now, if a territory is young, Terry, and it's a young territory, that means it doesn't have anything on it. So A. Anthony, the concrete people, just so happens there was also A. Anthony, who was people who built houses on top of not just concrete, but the ground, built houses and built buildings. They were the guys that I worked with that did the foundation for the hotel that I was working on, the stairways and the elevator shafts. How wild. See what I'm saying? This is like we're all living in this, and I can show you my math through my area because this applies to everyone here, and I can show you how that applies to you as well. So just try to tune in a little, and we can do this together, because this is a long journey ahead of us. Another local concrete company is Thomas Suddarth and Son. Now, if you've paid any attention to the stuff I've taught before or mentioned before, Siddhartha Gautama is the name of the Buddha. He's a city author. City is the way that they would say your power or your spiritual prowess, how you use your spiritual energy, cities, and power. That's why we call cities, CITY, because it's a concept to itself, identified plus vital identity. It's a power. That's what the word cities means in other dialects, but it's spelled Siddhi. So Siddhartha Gautama was the Buddha because he sat there as an author of God's active manifested action, Gautama. See, as God, Gaut. So now when you take that into consideration and move it into someone like Thomas Siddharth. Now, to hear a mass, or plus here ongoing manifested active subject, and then Siddharth, the subject unit, two D's to and from itself, A activated, R as a reference, TH plus here. So something on the earth, to hear a mass, something on the earth, Siddharth, or something under the. So it's subject Adarth. See how silly that sounds, but their names resonate with what they're doing in the world. I'm hoping you're starting to see this, because if you haven't yet, I don't know if your eyes are open, and I don't know if it's going to be possible to open your eyes, because it's just my heart talking simply to you. The next businesses that I'll go into are plumbers. If you're a plumber, you're definitely not embarrassed to be a plumber, so I'm not trying to put anybody down, and I'm not trying to make shit jokes here, but some are going to be involved, because when we resonate with our names, we resonate with our names, and that's what I'm trying to teach you and show you, that this world is much more than you thought. George Winston Plumbing. Where does the poop go? Have you ever seen the movie Envy? If not, it's kind of a funny movie. I wouldn't, say go waste your time doing anything with the TV, but if you want to do something and enjoy some jokes, it's a pretty cool movie, I guess. But George is the geo-reference generated expression. Now, when you put that with Winston, listen to how it sounds. Where it goes, or George, the geo-reference generated expression, when it's done, Winston. So the generated expressed ongoing reference generated expression, plural identified notion, subject plus ongoing notion. So where you gonna go with your shit when it's done? George Winston Plumbing. So someone who helps you remove it from your house, George, the area, Winston, and George Winston Plumbing. He's a plumber. The other is H. Jack Langer. He's a very popular person in our community. He's got funny commercials where he flies through with a cape and he's got a wrench and toilet, H. Jack Langer. So here, period. Here on the spot, Jack, the junction of that here on the spot, activated unseen concept to yourself, but now kinetic. So it's your H. Jack. And then Langer, as it lie, or the active base, activated notion, generated express reference. So he's going to take your shit somewhere. H. Jack Langer. What you've laid, Langer. H. Jack Langer. From you, H here, and the junction of that active unseen concept, but constant to itself, the unseen that's coming from inside you, now kinetic. As it lie, active notion, generate the expressed reference. So this guy is going to be the plumber, just like George Winston Plumbing. And the last one I want to go into with the plumbers is Mellow and Lebowski. Now, if you've heard the old saying, if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. That was a saying when I was a kid. But mellow, the manifested expressed between two L's ongoing, and the Lebowski. It's not spelled like the Big Lebowski. Now, take that in consideration. He was called the Dude, and these people remove your duty, your doo-doo. But Lebowski, it means of the bowl, skeet. Okay, Labowski. What does the bow, ski, or the Bowski? Now, I'll break them down. Mellow, the manifested expressed between here and here, as it lie, ongoing, when you gotta go. And then Lebowski, the as it lie, or the active base, ongoing, plural, subject, kinetic, identified. So they're people who deal with your poop and pee. Mello and Lebowski. Doesn't mean that they're bad people. Of course they're not. They've got their personal things, but they're living their definition in the world of the universe. And everyone is doing it. No one understands it and no one sees it like I do. And it's almost like a big joke on Dan because all the horror, all the demons, all the biblical names, all the Quran, everything is literally something that I've already seen and done. And I'm trying to show people when I asked God what I should do to show them that this all is something I can explain in words. And what we need to do is something that I can actually completely answer in words because my heart is open in saying the truth. When I tell people, this is how we heal our health, this is how we heal our planet, this is how it's true. The problem is people don't want to hear someone telling them that we've got to change most of the things we're doing. And that's not on me. That's on nature and what nature needs. And God gave me the gift to talk it and speak it. On to the next. Another business in the area is David Laird and Associates, and they are surveyors. If you know what a surveyor is, it's somebody who measures a plot of land. There's more to it, but literally they measure land space. And the name David Laird. D, the dia, active, vital, identified, dia. David is usually the vital, identified one. That's what it means, the average guy, David. The living entity, the one that is being seen or lived through, David. So you have dia, active, vital, identified, dia. And then you have Laird. As it lie, aired. Or as it lie, active, identified, reference to and from. So he measures space. And he's a surveyor. And that's his company, David Laird and Associates. We're fussy people pleasers, and we're fussy too. Brando Painting, Brando Painting. Now that is the company in my local area that is known for 50 years of service as a painting company. They do other services, but they started off for years and years and years, and they've had commercials every year talking about their family, which brands your Dell or your Den. I mean, if you know what words mean in their simplest form, your Den, and the base reference, active, expressed, notion, to and from, dia, expressed as it lie, and they brand it, your Den. And their names are Dennis Brandell and Dennis Brandell Jr. They're a painting company. Do you see how these are living words? Not putting down anything that they do personally. That's everybody's own karmic life to live through. But no matter what they do in the meanwhile, and see the planet falling apart, this is why I'm pointing out that everyone's in their position. Now they got to see that the return of the Christ consciousness is in somebody, and it's not just lightly, it's everything. And I can explain to you what we're here to do, above and beyond anything you're going to see on TV, or anything that some popular person or celebrity is telling you on some kind of website or media platform. I'm here to save the soul that is within your body, not your fun, not your technology, what we need in the planet. That's what I'm here for, not anything else. So let's move on to the next. JJ Agnello Heating and Air Conditioning. That is another local business, and J.J. We've got two things intense upon themselves. So, heating and air conditioning. What is just happening intense? The weather, right? And Agnello, activate, generated, notion, expressed, LL between two L's, or as it lies between here and here, ongoing. So if you want the intense, activated, generated notion expressing between two L's ongoing, and you take that to its most tense idea that's happening right now, in this moment of tension, you have JJ Agnello, Heating and Air Conditioning, the guy who helps control the climate in your home. Because JJ, intense, Agnello, to activate the generated notion expressed between here and here, ongoing, your home, JJ Agnello. It resonates. And remember, if you're taking this from Every word coming from your center of reception, not your body. This is how all words work. If you can understand that and put it into practice, you'll see stuff that you've never seen before in a way that you never knew you could. While we're in the house, we might as well move on to the two brothers who are the furniture people in our area. We have Arthur F. Schultz and John V. Schultz. First, I'll go with Arthur F. We have the active reference plus here, or the here underlying reference, the home, F as in form, and Schultz, the subjected concept or constant to itself, here, unit as it lie, plus from one side to another. So you go to them to put active reference plus here underlying or unit reference forms into your subject constant to yourself, here, unit as it lie, plus what you get from somebody else. The furniture guy, Arthur F. Schultz, and his brother, John V. Schultz, the junction of what is, ongoing here notion, vital. Okay, now, what is that? That is your junction ongoing here notion. Vital, your home. And then Schultz, subject, constant to itself, here, unit, as it lie, plus from one side to another. Another place you're going to go to get your furniture, and it's the Superstore. John V. Schultz and Arthur F. Schultz, the brothers, the furniture guys. Do you see this? Hello? Do you see this? Isn't this cool? I'm teaching you who you are. You're God too. I'm just trying to bring it back so that we don't have to watch this world fall apart to tyrants. I'm trying to show you in a fun, different, unique way that only one individual in history has truly experienced. And this is no storybook form. This is real life. When you wake up tomorrow, this is still going to be true. All of it. The scariest scary and the funniest funny. I can explain it all. And not because I think I'm cool for it. I owe it to you because I love you. And the you that is truly what makes you up knows what I'm saying if you listen long enough and open your heart to what matters in the world. Let's go on to the next. Now, the next two are more or less people who have specific offices doing specific things, and they're resonating with their name strongly. And I just have to show them because they're just beautiful. The first one is Brian E. Musset. So the base reference, identified active notion. This is going to go along with the rest of his name and his birthday, but we're not going to go into any birthdays. These are just local people I'm showing you. Brian, base reference, identified active notion. E, period, the bottom line expression. And then Musset, the manifested unit, two subjects, SS, expressing two T's, plus plus. And he is a foot doctor, a podiatrist. He is base reference, identified active notion. E, the bottom line, and then manifest unit, two subjects. You have 2 feet, right? Most people, I'm sorry, but most people. Express plus plus. So it's the place you go in 4D to have somebody look at the subject of your feet. Base reference, identified active notion, bottom line E, capital period. See how this is literally living word. It's just totally amazing. And it's just heartbreaking that no one else sees the beauty in our life. And what I'm trying to do is bring that magic back and show it to you. You can help me by sharing my message with other people, and even better, bringing them to me. Give them my number. Give them a way to contact me. I'm here for every single living being. I know how big it sounds, but it happens to be true with this guy. I do apologize for these next two because their pictures are a little grainy, but these were the best ones I could get off of the billboard right outside where I happen to, unfortunately for the moment in time, be employed, only because I have to interact with people and help. That's the only way I can be involved until we get more people in a live event speaking about what matters in the world. And I want that more than anything. Book me to speak and I'll do it for free. Just find me a way to get me there. All right. Angie Niedermeyer, TLC Senior Solutions. Now, Angie, think of the word angel, but just say active notion generated identified expression. Niedermeyer. Now, or the notion identified, expressed to and from, so she's now identified working through the expressed reference, and R is the human letter. Meyer, me, here. They need me here. Okay? Now, see how that resonates with what she's doing, and Niedermeyer, she helps place people with seniors to take care of them in their home. Senior Solutions. And it has more than just that. But if you need someone's help and you are facing negative consequences, which you could say Meyer, but when you go Meyer, other than Mire like Meyer or Michael Myers, Myers, you look at it and understand Angie, the angel of when you need her help from Meyer, or the notion identified expressed to and from Dia, expressed reference, the manifested expressed, vital identity, expressed reference. So she's there to help people, and it happens to be older people. What a young, sweet lady, like an angel, that helps people when they need her there. Niedermeyer. When they need someone there, she's the one to go to for it. Now, you can't miss this when you see what I've been saying for long enough. I know it's weird, but we're just stuck on other things that really don't matter. And to some extent, even you are. And it's hard to understand and hard to face, but I'm helping move past even the slightest misunderstandings. But you've got to start at a spot where you really get where I'm coming from to see that I will not lie to you. I'm only telling you how we saved this whole thing. The next business right below that billboard is Necker's Company General Store, your boot store. Now, it's not Nike. Nike is that notion identified kinetic expression. The swoosh, what you're just doing, because it's the notion identified kinetic expression. See how Nike is a magic word? It all is. Nike, the notion identified kinetic expression. Nike, just do it. Now, Necker's, if it's something that you're going to be doing more often and you want more sturdy things on your feet, that notion expressed with the E, bottom line, now it's the constant to itself and it's kinetic as the expressed reference for the human letter R. And it's the place where you go to get your work boots. Nike is for running because it's the now identified kinetic expression. Necker's is for working in boots on your feet because it's the now bottom line expressed constant to itself kinetic expressed reference, the place you go for your work boots. Isn't that cool? And the last one for this is somewhere that I worked when I was 17 years old, when I had my biggest real near-death close experience when I overdosed. But before that, I worked at a place called Vitco, and it was a place that made pipes and sprayed them with a solution that when you baked it on, it solidified into glass and it reinforced the inside of pipes that we sent to places like Cedar Point and Knott's Farms and different places for roller coasters. They were a erector corporation which sent piping for people who erected big roller coasters. And Vitco, the Vital Identified Plus constant to itself ongoing, was owned by a man named Peter Pace. Now, this is too ridiculous because this is in my personal life involved, and I'm the one teaching the living word to humanity. Big stuff. And the guy that owned an erector company called Vitco was named Peter, erector. Okay? He's an erector, and his name was Peter Pace. So if you wanted to ship something to other places, that's where the L would be, the active as it lie. So Peter is the potential or the piece or the person with the P, expressing the plus expressed reference of Vitco, and shipping it out to a placement active constant to itself expression. Peter Pace owned a erector company that sent piping supplies for roller coasters. Isn't this totally amazing to you guys? Seeing how you are a living word too. Place this in the center of yourself. Close your eyes. Relax, clear your body, and understand who you are, my friends in God. Please. Because I'm here to rescue the frickin' world, man. And I can do it with you. I know you may get caught into some of the war and some of the stuff, but the only way to fix that is individually, family-wise, community-wise, and then we spread. Because the cancer of humanity has been spreading for a long time. The lies, the deceit. through science, through medicine, through the governments, through the dark occult, through all this stuff. It's been spreading for way too long, and the only way to do it is to truly have a heart. And that's what I'm showing you through the living word. That is what is needed to be returned to humanity. Without that, there's nothing worth living for. And I'm giving you what you want to learn. You just have to let go of all the stuff that's got you stuck in that miry, boggy, mush swamp that we've been stuck in. Let's truly drain the swamp and become one living humanity. And together, share this volume of Game of Names, and I hope that people can see that this is just not some guy blabbing. This is really living words. No matter how silly or funny or scary or dastardly all the stuff seems, I can tell you what's going on behind the scenes, and I'm showing you why by showing you that this is all living word. And I have been through this, and I know what's going to happen. I am just so in tune. I'm not just in tune. I am at one with the universal mind. And I can't speak things into existence. If I know that they're going to happen, I will not say them because they do happen. And this is real. And I'm showing you, this one has been sort of fun, but I'm showing you that everything that I'm talking about is what happens in the world. And because I happen to be in tune the way that I speak of, I can't tell you what I know unless you're in person with me. That's why I want to speak in public, because this goes way deeper than me trying to show you that we are all living word. And everyone who's trying to figure out the etymologies and all the backstories, this is answers beyond that. And I can explain those too, but let's not get too stuck on the past and worry about now what we need to fix, because we don't have much time in our time frame, in this time space, however you want to say it without sounding too weird or sciencey. I know all that, but this is where it starts, at the human heart. And using your mind, and using the trivium and the quadrivium, learning all these essentials for humanity to ascend into a higher state of consciousness, this is it. This is true spirituality, above and beyond. So until next time, my friends, I love you. God bless.